Okay, let's do this.
So, as a lot of y'all already know, I was gay for 14 years.
And you still are.
During that time, I argued with anybody who wanted to argue. People would say, well, you weren't born gay, God doesn't make people gay, all this kind of stuff. And I would say, look, if God didn't want me gay, He wouldn't have made me gay. And I'm a good person. I do good things. People tell me how sweet I am. I know that if I died, I'm going to heaven. I could argue till the cows came home over that. When the truth is that I didn't want the gospel of Jesus to be true. Because that would mean that I had to stop doing what I was doing. I had to stop the sin I was committing. And I didn't want to do that. I was perfectly happy doing all the wrong stuff.
But you're assuming that it is
and
actually
there were times,
a sin.
every once in a great while, where the thought would come into my head where I would think, I know that the lifestyle I'm living is wrong. And I know that if I died today, I certainly wouldn't go to heaven. I would go to hell. And that was scary to me. So I would just, again, take that thought, suppress
What about
it, push it back down to wherever it came from. And you might not be living a gay lifestyle. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant what the sin is. You might be cheating on your wife, your husband. You might be in a committed relationship living with somebody, but you're not married. Who knows? You might be a drug addict, alcoholic, whatever. Sin is sin.
Murder equals drug addiction.
But for years, I just kept suppressing that. And so God finally let me build up all my junk and all my misery, and let me get to a spot where I was so miserable and unhappy, and I could see no way out. The best way out for me was just...
Wait a minute. God let you get all this misery built up? He let that happen? That's a little disturbing. Let's continue.
To kill myself, which seemed like the best idea at the time. Thank God I didn't do that. But
you wanted to kill yourself because you're miserable about being gay?
The Holy Spirit came on me at that moment in my, my deepest misery and desperation, and said, Jesus can do this. Jesus can take this away.
Pray
and
the gay
at that moment,
away.
by myself, in my house, I surrendered to God. And instantly, all of that pain, that desperation, was gone in an instant, literally, in an instant.
Comforting does not equal true.
I know that there are people out there who will say there is no God, or who will say, the life that I'm leading is not a sinful life, and God
Very
made me this
few
way,
people argue actually and absolutely there is no God.
When deep down,
Several people are skeptical.
you just don't want the Bible to be true.
Actually, I wish it was.
Because deep down, you know that it is. I was the same way.
What about the people who deep
So
down
I'm not
know the
asking you to
Quran
admit
is
it
true?
to anybody.
What about them?
But if you can admit it to yourself, at those times when you can admit to yourself,
Why don't you admit to yourself that you're still a lesbian?
Your own car, wherever, that the life you're leading is wrong, and you need Jesus because you know the Bible is true. You know there is a God, and you want a better life and a different life, because the one you have is not what you want.
How do you know?
At that moment, the Holy Spirit is with you, and that's your opportunity to not only admit it to yourself, but to admit it to God. It's very, very simple. All you have to do, again, in the privacy of wherever you're at, say, God, I know my life is right.
I'm not the one that's lying to myself. I'm not the one that's saying, yeah, I used to be gay. No, you're still gay, okay? You're just suppressing your homosexuality. I'm not the person that's lying to myself, okay?
And I can't change it on my own. I need
Yeah, you can change things on your own.
Ask him into your life. Ask him into your heart. It's a personal thing. There's no formula on how to do it. You just have to say, hey, God, I surrender to you. I want you. I want you to lead my life. I want you to change the junk in me. I don't want to be miserable anymore. But again, if you deep down in your heart, and way in the back of your mind, if you know that what the Christians are telling you is true, it's your opportunity for a new life, a better way, and acceptance into God's family and heaven when we die. So that's what I wanted to say, and look forward to hearing from you.
Does it seem like an advertisement to anybody besides me? What are you waiting for? Trust Jesus. Interesting. Oh boy. Where to start? Okay, deep down I don't know that this stuff is true. I know that it's comforting, and I do believe you when you say that instantly your agony and despair faded away, but that doesn't really prove anything at all. I mean, and then you say people deep down know that the Bible is true. There are a lot of Christians that don't take the Bible as absolute truth. And there are certainly a lot of people who claim that deep down everyone knows the Quran is true, or deep down everyone knows the Hindu Vedas are true, or deep down everyone knows that the teachings of Buddha are the truth about the world. So just because somebody is deeply convinced of something doesn't make it true. The human mind is easily compartmentalized and is easily convinced of things if you have the desire to be convinced of them. And then you present it as if I'm the one denying truth. And you ask, well, what are you waiting for? I'm just waiting for good evidence. I mean, you produce good, legitimate, independent, verifiable evidence of any supernatural claim. I'll believe it. Somebody walked up to me and lifted a car up in the air and threw it across the street with telekinesis. I'd instantly believe in telekinesis. If I saw a burning bush and it talked to me and told me the truth about God, then I would instantly believe that. Well, first I would examine if I was asleep or if I had taken any bizarre substances, but if I hadn't, then I would become a believer. So what am I waiting for? I'm just waiting for evidence. That's it. And this video is not evidence. It's a little condescending, and it's clearly psychological projection. You're the one that's not being honest with yourself. If you're honest with yourself, you'd admit you still have homosexual tendencies, and I don't see anything wrong with homosexuality. But you're gay. You didn't used to be gay, you're still gay. You're simply suppressing your urges. You're the one that's not honest with yourself. I'm honest with myself. I used to not be honest with myself. I used to try and convince myself that this stuff was true because I found it comforting. But then I became honest with myself, and I don't see how you're being honest with yourself here. I don't know.